Hi again, everyone. This is part 2 of Pluto and Aquarius with me, Lori, from 3 Keys Astrology. Sorry I had to interrupt the first part, but we're getting our furniture cleaned and hopefully I can get through this. So I'm recapping what Pluto and Aquarius, this big blast of energy that's entered into our lives this very moment, this very day. And we're going to go through... I'm going to go through the houses. I started with the first house, but I'm going to go back again. So please see part 1 of the video, Pluto and Aquarius. This is a subsequent video. So again, in the first part of that video, I described the profundity of Pluto and his energy. It's darkness, it's sorrow, it's death. But it's major transformation. You can't resist it, you can't fight it. And the whole process and purpose of Pluto in our lives is to purify and cleanse and remove sin. So if Pluto falls in your first house, you would be Aquarius rising. And your rising sign is the determinant is that's where the sun was rising on the day of your birth. You could have been born 9 in the morning, 7 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, but your rising sign is that delineation of the sunrise on the day you were born. So if Pluto in Aquarius falls in your first house, that's the way you meet and greet the world, that's part of your personality, and whether or not you're outgoing, whether you're friendly, that describes you. So Pluto here darkens one's personality. There's an intensity, a simmering beneath the surface, if you will. It's emotional energy in the first house. And because Aries is the ruler of this house by essential dignity, if you want to know exactly what I meant emphatically, come and study astrology with me. I teach. All of my information, all of my services are at www.3keysastrology.com. So there's a roiling underneath the surface of your personality. And it can be anger, you can be feeling violent, you can experience rage. Pluto in the first house is an intensity. And just like I described in the first video, it's like the volcanic lava rolling of an unsettled, restless, intense energy of emotionality. So a roiling will emerge within you. This is a great placement for you to go find a good psychotherapist. I'll be repeating that again because Pluto is such high, hot emotional intensity. Pluto is sex, it's your finances, it's your shared accumulations and partnerships. So business partners, romantic partners, marriage partners who share resources. It's power, it's domination, and Pluto is ruthless and ruthlessness. Are you the one who's the ruthless one? Or are you being subjected to people that are more ruthless and manipulative and trying to overpower you? Come and get a reading and I can help define that. We'll meet on Zoom. Go to www.3keysastrology.com. Order your readings. Input your birth information. I'll get an email and we'll set up a time. And the readings are an hour long. I Zoom with you. It's interactive, it's not a monologue. You talk to me, I talk to you. We explore issues. People like my services. They often get repeat readings. If you've had a birth chart reading, come and get a here and now, like this moment, this time, this year, because we all evolve and devolve, mature, act immature, but it's your life right now, no matter how old you are, where the birth chart is a character, a characterology, an imprint of your behavior, your traits, your motivations, your intentions. So that's Pluto in the first house. And you could indeed be the one wielding your power. I was saying as the video ended in part 1, a good remedy is to kickbox, go learn martial arts. You have to find a way to get rid of the physical intensity within that rages, that roils, that is angry. Now, if Pluto comes into your second house, this energy is an energy where you will be obsessed with money or sex. It's a deep need to acquire. If Pluto comes into your third house, can be malicious gossip. This is you actually spreading untruths and malicious gossip. This is secretive communications. So it's kind of like spy energy. It's very conspiratorial. It's very on the down low. And it's an energy that's extremely scrutinizing. So if you possess this energy, in fact, possess is a good word to describe Pluto. What possesses you? What controls you? What are you obsessed with? What drives you? What motivates you? What are you after? What do you read? What do you look at? What do you study? What do you think? All Pluto energies. If Pluto falls in your third house, I really want you to take a look at your critical mind. I want you to question yourself and say, am I manipulative? Am I being manipulated? And as I was explaining, manipulations can be subtle, like somebody in the family that is trying to make other people move. Someone in the family who treats the family members like chess pieces on their board of life with all their agendas and their intentions. It can be at business if you have a power-mongering boss at work that treats others like they're disposable and at his every whim and dispense and call and beck. So this is really, really energy that is about communicating, relating, and where you let that communication pummel you, control you, and manipulate you. Or are you the one doing that to other family members? It can be like a rich aunt that has a big, big purse that maybe nephews or nieces or something want a part of, and so she feigns illness and she expects you to come do all her chores or come and she expects you to be there for every beck and call. And indeed, that's manipulative. If Pluto falls in your fourth house, this is one of my favorite houses. When you learn astrology with me, you'll see that I like 4, 8, and 12. They're the emotional houses. That's where the most intense energies happen in your life of relating. If this happens in your fourth house, again, I highly encourage you to find a therapist and start to explore some of your aggressive energy, your emotional energy, your anger. Pluto in the fourth house will give you penetrative intuitions. You'll have a searing eyesight into the depths of the family. You'll find things out about your family that you might not have known historically. Skeletons fly out of the closet when Pluto's in the fourth house. You'll be very interested in family dynamics, and you'll start to question and look at, what's my place in the pie? Who am I in the family? What's my role? What's expected of me? Where am I going? This will be an excellent time for you to team up with someone, because Pluto here is going to really affect your feelings and your family relationships, all familial relationships. Pluto in the fifth house. This one is really interesting because this is about your love life. It means you can indulge promiscuity. But if you're in a committed relationship, it can mean that you will be overly controlling over your lover and your partner, finding fault with every issue, extremely critical of him or her, and it can be some kind of insane compulsive interest into the private lives of your adult children, which is sick and twisted. Pluto can be a sick and twisted energy in its malicious, malign states. So you got to ask yourself, is it your place? Is it your business? Because after a certain age, we're supposed to, if we're good parents, we teach them to be independent and self-sufficient. And we're not supposed to be minding such personal things. And we're supposed to let them go and learn their lessons and hope that we did a good enough job in their foundation that they don't need our help or our money or our advice, because they're able to do things on their own. Pluto in the fifth house can indicate that you're involved in secret love affairs, and or also is the house of compulsive gambling addictions. So beware, be careful. If you have family members with these positions, I'm happy to read for you and help you talk about that energy. Pluto in the 6th house is becoming anal in your everyday life, whether it's your work life, your routine, how you treat others at your workplace. And it's also a place that we have to be careful because it's a health house. So as I said in the first video, part 1, Pluto's bacteria, virology, epidemiologic disease. So you got to really check your health. And the question that you have to do and the thing you have to look over, have your indulgences affected your physical health? Well, yes, they have. And if for years you've been carrying around, extra weight and indulging in things that are toxic and poisonous to the body, it's time for a personal cleanse. It's time to get with health experts and clean your body out. Pluto here can affect your entire body, but can give you some stomach issues as a first warning that there might be something wrong. It's also a house of Virgo, so it can be mental issues and sometimes when we're physically unwell, it's not sometimes, when we're physically unwell, we can also be mentally unwell, and that can bleed on to everybody else in your daily life. If Pluto falls in your 7th house, you're going to be experiencing emotional extremes in your most intimate partnerships. And again, what are you obsessed over? What are you controlling over? Are you manipulating? This is personal and business, so expect to weather severe storms in your marriage. I'm encouraging you to listen to what the possibilities are, but know that I'm an astrologer who teaches remedy and resolve. And so it would behoove you to cooperate and not try to be controlling, and try to learn to be understanding so that you relate to others. Otherwise, Pluto will demolish unions. This energy is breakthrough, but it's also breakup energy in that house. So it can be divorce. Pluto's connecting to Uranus, and that's somebody so sick and tired of Plutonian issues that they want to break free. If Pluto falls in your 8th house, you'll acquire shrewd business sense. And I want you to be careful not to put money and materials before people. Your intuition's sharp, and it will really sharpen your ability to take a look and get up close and personal. It intensifies personal relationships, and Pluto will benefit you if you're raw, real, and honest about finances, about intimacy. And this raw carnal energy can feel like it's lava within your lover or your partnership. So I encourage you to get into therapy. If you're not in a partnership and you're working alone, this energy is excellent for investigations, for research. If you're writing a book or visiting historical sites, a lot can be resolved when Pluto goes into the 8th house. This placement is indeed Pluto with Mars and Pluto with Saturn and Uranus. So lots of breakthroughs, getting rid of old bad habits, sharing if you've been miserly most of your life. Now, Pluto in the 9th house, you want to go back to school or relocate to a foreign place. You will face intellectual frustrations, and you might think, gosh, is this all there is to my life? Not really if you move somewhere else, not really if you take up some new subjects, not really if you hang around intellectual society. So I encourage you to do that. That's not a bad placement. It's going to be really interesting and will fill you. It's also a great place to get more devout in your faith. And Pluto in the 9th house will help you become a more rounded person. Pluto in the 10th house. This is corruption in the workplace, power mongering, polluted politicians, and if Pluto hits you here, you're encouraged to clean up the corporate world and clean up corporate messes. Think Ramaswamy and Elon's new position. I'm going to hold on for 1 second. Okay, Pluto in the 10th house. Think about the new positions of Ramaswamy and Elon Musk to clean up the corporate world. and get rid of all this bureaucratic bullshit. It's his job and Ramaswamy's to eliminate overregulation. And so if it lands in your 10th house, you may be the one called to clean up the corporate messes. On the other hand, depending on your personality and your 3 keys, you could be the one that's causing corporate dissonance. And again, you got to check yourself. If you're involved in a political community, I encourage you, if you're involved in a political community, to really do the checks and balances of how fair you're being or how close-minded you're being. If Pluto's in the 11th house, this is not such a serious ingression for you. But this is an essential dignity house that belongs to Aquarius. So it's a time for you to evaluate your social positions and your social life to form community and brotherhood. Pluto in the 12th house, beware of becoming a recluse. Unless you're a monk or a nun, and that's really your daily protocol and your daily life. This can be an unhealthy placement. It can be a very difficult time in life because it can mean facing death or facing others that are in that final stage of life. It can indeed be chronic illness, vicious and obsessive emotional trenches and coercions can be happening here. And it can be one involved with very dirty affairs. So get therapy. It's a necessity in this house. And it can be you cleaning out the cobwebs of your most personal relationships. So one of the cures are clean sweeps, getting rid of clutter, and purging and becoming healthy in your body. So this is me, Lori, with 3 Keys Astrology. I'm going to end the video because my furniture is being cleaned, and I'm sorry for the background noise. If it's that bad, I'll redo the video, and I'll see you next time. But don't forget, there's a part 1 to this video. All my services are available at 3keysastrology.com. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day. Don't be afraid. Pluto's going to be there till 2043. I'll help you through. Come and get your readings or teachings. Bye now.